I'm Judy Shaw for NYSE Floor Talk. Joining me today is John Keppler. He's Chairman and CEO of Enviva. John, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Oh gosh, this is such a privilege. Thank you so much for hosting us today.
A quick note to our viewers, this interview is for informational purposes only. The NYSE doesn't recommend any investments or investment strategies. All right, so John, you have a unique story. Enviva is the largest producer of sustainable wood pellets. How is this an alternative to fossil fuels separate from wind and solar?
So great question. When you think about the way that energy is generated today and where energy is being consumed, wind and solar have obviously been a huge part of worldwide efforts to decarbonize. But there's a particular challenge that comes with the intermittency of solar and wind, and that's where the product we manufacture comes in. Because our customers, who are principally large-scale utilities around the world, they use our substitute as a drop-in substitute for coal, meaning that they can generate baseload dispatchable power that ensures that the lights are on and heat is being generated even when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. So we're a critical part of the overall all-in solution to climate change, particularly with the energy transition.
All right, now the pandemic has highlighted the importance of a renewable energy future. Can you tell me how this has highlighted that? How did the pandemic highlight this importance?
Well, I think the pandemic affected all of us in very, very different ways. But what we really understood, both through sort of the broader thematic of what a coronavirus pandemic means, as well as what the continued fairly significant impacts of climate change really have demonstrated, and you only have to look back to Texas a few short weeks ago, is that the role for baseload dispatchable power based on renewable resources is critical to our efforts to decarbonize the overall energy sector. And that's why biomass and wood pellets play such an important role.
Now, how has technology and innovation enabled you to provide sustainability services during this challenging landscape?
Well, I'll tell you, that's such an interesting question as we think about what the future really holds, right? So as greater adoption of solar and wind have continued to promulgate, the role of biomass has become even more important, and it is for those periods of intermittency. So much so that when you think about how our customers use our product and, of course, generate energy, the United Kingdom, for instance, where one of several of our largest customers are, they were able to go more than 70 days without burning a single ton of coal, thanks to the baseload power made possible with wood pellets, as well as solar and wind resources. That's the longest time since the Industrial Revolution that the UK went without burning a single ton of coal. And so it's technologies like the conversions that we help our customers with, taking fossil fuel-fired assets into biomass-fired assets, that are part of that. And when we then translate that into what the future holds, with an ever-increasing indexation to net zero, which means you really also have to have negative emissions technologies. And there you see the emergence of carbon capture and sequestration combined with biomass energy called BECCS, which can create a truly scalable negative emissions power generating resource. And that's available today. And that's a pretty dramatic change.
Okay, and finally, John, tell me, how do government mandates around sustainability impact your progress?
Well, so sustainability writ large in terms of the way that we aggregate our natural resource, we upgrade it, we process it, we distribute it. You know, we seek to not only comply with legislation around the world, but frankly, to be leaders in sustainability. That means that for every single ton of wood fiber we aggregate, we're able to document, we're able to understand its exact source of origin, the characteristics of everything we've bought. And just as importantly, what we didn't buy from that site or tract of natural resource. And our ability to communicate that transparently and publish it on our website so that anybody could inquire as to how we do what we do, we're really, really proud of that. And I would say that there are a few companies in the world that not only know exactly where and what happened to every single ton of their raw material, but also what happened to every ton that they didn't buy. And that's a really powerful resource that we are very, very proud of and publish quite consistently. We're evolving this as well and underpinning it with a blockchain platform that will provide an immutable ledger for every single handoff point in our entire supply chain. From that ton of raw material that was harvested in the forest, we can demonstrate and document its whole sustainability journey all the way through our downstream customers' power plants. It's pretty exciting.
Wow, well, it definitely does sound exciting. John, thank you so much for joining me on NYSE Floor Talk. It's been great to have you on the show.
Well, we sure appreciate it, and thanks so much.